All right, hello YouTube, it's Ryan here with Hobbies and Man once again, and today I'm recording from my car because I'm waiting for my buddy to show up. We're gonna go to Kinokuniya, which is back there, but while I'm waiting for him, I wanted to record a video for the new Shonen Jump title that just came out, Cipher Academy. It's written by Nisioisin, and it's drawn by Yuji Iwasaki, I think is what his name was, or their name. I don't know if they're male or female, but I do think that Yuji is a male name, but I'm not really sure. So yeah, I don't know if it's an adaptation of a Nisioisin novel, or if it's just a manga idea that he came up with that he then had someone else draw for him. I don't know. I think it's an interesting kind of concept to have Nisioisin in a Shonen Jump magazine. I think most of his stuff is usually in Kodansha magazines. So that's kind of interesting. Oops, I can't put my finger there. There we go. Yeah, so Cipher Academy is this kind of urban military kind of vibe to it. It's kind of interesting. It does have this kind of element of cryptocurrency that came up at the end of the chapter, which I'm iffy on. I don't really care too much about cryptocurrency in general, but like the whole idea of it is kind of odd, but it's also very much with the times, and I think that Shonen Jump is trying to get more into that. We have seen a lot of development into the kind of like slice of life type stuff like Ruri Dragon, and we have seen more of the urban kind of sci-fi type thing with like the smartphone series, and I think this one is going to lean in that direction. But with Nisioisin's name, I'm sure that it's going to have a lot more opportunities to flourish than some of the other series that have been going on lately in the magazine. So it's kind of interesting. Our main character is a boy, but everything about him looks female until someone mentions offhandedly that it's a boy. Turns out that this academy, this Cipher Academy, is an all-girls school, except for this year where they started allowing boys, and each class gets a token male student to go to their class. And so our main character, Iroha, I think is her name, got into this school, doesn't have to pay for tuition or anything like that because they are the token boy, or at least that's what it makes it seem like. I'm not sure if that's actually the case, but that does seem to be the situation. And it turns out that it's actually a very rigorous military academy of some sort, and our character Iroha didn't know that when he applied, and so he got in, and he wasn't expecting it to be as hardcore as it is. And he's actually, or they, I guess, I'm not really sure what their like current gender is, because they're supposed to be a male character, but their whole character design looks female. This is a thing in Japanese, comic books all the time, but I'm not sure if there's supposed to be some sort of like statement being made there, so I don't want to misgender them too badly. So I'm not sure. I'll keep calling them he for the rest of the video, but if that changes, I'll make sure to try my best to change the gender going forward. But so they get into the school, they realize it's really, really hard. And one day they end up in the library trying to study so they can solve their homework, which is a very simple crossword puzzle. And suddenly this small lolly character shows up with a mechanical leg, and she tries to hide behind Iroha. And then this like Hime princess character shows up and asks her if she's seen this character. I think their name is Tokai or something like that. And Iroha says no. And then Iroha and this Hime character are basically at odds now. And Tokai, or whatever the other character's name is, gives Iroha these glasses, which are some sort of like sentient glasses, or they have an AI system in them. And it allows Iroha to solve problems, like cipher things, a lot better than before. And it's kind of interesting. It's also kind of really odd. Like, I'm not really sure where it's going. I kind of do like it. I think, military sci-fi is a manga genre that doesn't really come out all that much. I mean, it is a very common genre in sci-fi novels in, the Western sphere, and I read quite a few of them. But it's kind of an interesting kind of concept to see in manga. It's not really that common. I mean, all I can think of that's like a Shonen Jump title that's kind of like that is maybe the All You Need Is Kill novel and the manga adaptation of that novel. So I do think it's an interesting genre to get into. It's also pretty like modern, and it doesn't really go into fantasy or like more crazy sci-fi. So I think it's an interesting concept, but it's a nisioisin work, so it's kind of hard to adapt, but the art style is good, so at least it has that going for it. There's a lot of panels where they just say censored, and it's because nisioisin and I'm guessing Shonen Jump also don't really want to get into the political aspects that have to do with this sort of military sci-fi type thing. And so it's kind of interesting in that sense, but I also like, you can't really have that happen without there actually being like an actual, ideological kind of, situation going on. So it's kind of curious. I don't know if it's going to be very popular with Western audiences. I don't even think it's going to be that popular with Japanese audiences, honestly. So I'm curious to see how it goes. But if you like things like Imitation Game, or you like solving crossword puzzles or Sudoku growing up, you might like this. But it does feel like it was trying to go for like a solve along with the mysteries kind of thing, but it doesn't really let you, especially because the big puzzle of this chapter was supposed to be this sort of like Japanese literature puzzle. So of course Westerners that are not aware of that are not going to be able to solve it at all. And so I think that a lot of the mystique of that series might be lost on us Westerners as we read the manga, so it might not really get very popular. But I can see the nisioisin fan base, like the Western fan base, really liking it and picking it up anyways. I don't happen to be in that fan base all that much. I think that his novels are very interesting, but they're way too hard to read, and I've never seen the anime for any of his works. So I'm not sure, but it is an interesting concept, and I do want to give it a chance and see if it goes anywhere. But if it doesn't, it's not really that big of a deal. I'm not that invested in this story. However, the art style is really, really good, so at least it has that. And yeah, I think I've, crossed over into saying things over and over again now, so I'll stop the video now. I hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry for the shaky cam. I didn't have a tripod or anything. This was off the cuff. And yeah, thank you guys very much for watching, and see you guys later. Thank you guys once again, and see you guys.